Today's episode of Film Riot is brought to you by Click It or Ticket and the new T-Series from Kef, Slim Speakers, Serious Sound. Today on Film Riot, we finally get to showing you the behind the scenes of filming my short film, Tell. Aw, yeah. Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes in the strategy, effects, and techniques going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley. So after 2 years and a billion emails, tweets, and Facebook messages asking when we're going to get around to Tell, we finally were able to get enough time to get this together for you. And though I told you before, there is one thing I wanted to remind you of. I am shooting Tell with only family and friends for my crew. We did a casting call for the actors. The makeup artist was a friend I worked on some other projects with, and I asked one of my closest friends, who I went to film school with, to help me out in sort of a producer role. But other than that, no one I used had any idea of how to do the job I needed them to do before we shot. The reason I'm doing it like this is because I've been getting a lot of messages since the beginning asking how to make a short film if all you have is family and friends. So I decided to give it a shot to hopefully show that you can make great stuff even if you have a crew who doesn't know what they're doing. In my opinion, as long as they're willing to help, we'll be able to make this work, which is why you won't see Bruno or Josh. I had them shooting BTS on this one. So today, we're gonna kick this off with our first day of shooting.
My name is Todd Bruno. I'm playing a young man named Taylor, who's a bit troubled. Things go from bad to really bad to completely disastrous in a matter of hours. It's a terrific script. Ryan's written a terrific script. The whole setup is extremely professional, and I couldn't be more excited. And that's all I'm going to tell you.
The first thing to keep in mind for a shoot day like this is the schedule. You want the crew to arrive first and start setting up. Then your actors to show up a bit later for hair and makeup. You'll want to try to time this as best you can so that you'll be ready to shoot around the same time that your actors are done with their hair and makeup. Setup, of course, means everything. The lights, camera, audio, set dressings, and any extras. For instance, Tell takes place completely at night, and I have scheduled 16-hour shoot days, which means we would have to shoot from sundown to sunup. I figured that this wouldn't work out too well since I'll be using nothing but family and friends. I'm sure that they would lose patience pretty quickly on a shoot that taxing. So instead I decided to black out the windows. We did this by getting some rolls of brown painter's paper and covering up every window in the house. Once we were done, we were able to easily create the illusion of nighttime. So now we can start earlier and have a much more workable shooting schedule, which brings me to another point. Coffee. Always have a healthy supply of coffee waiting for your cast and crew when they get there. It just helps lift spirits and wake up faces. Anyway, the first half of the first day was just with Todd. And as I said before, the first thing for any actor when they arrive on set is to sit in the makeup chair. The main purpose for the makeup on a male actor is to remove any unwanted blemishes and to keep them from looking shiny on camera. But with who the character of Taylor is, I wanted to add a very subtle darkness to Todd using makeup. So I had my makeup artist darken around Todd's eyes, then emphasize the bags under his eyes, and finally we used a special eye drop that will add a bit of a hazy look to make the whites of his eyes not so white. Then once we were done working on that beautiful dome of Todd's, we worked on his wardrobe. Now I picked the wardrobe I did for a few reasons, one of which was I wanted to have him looking decently dressed and appear to have it all together, while on the inside, not at all the case. I also went with the color I did because I wanted something that would contrast nicely with the background of most of our locations. There's more to the color choice than just that, but it would give a bit of the story away and spoil a few things, so I'm just gonna leave it there. The point is, you should be planning out every aspect of your film, even down to the hair, makeup, and wardrobe. All these things are tools to help you get your audience right where you want them. I also shot completely out of order. The very first scene we shot happens about a quarter way into the script. Now the reason I shoot out of order is to make best use of the schedule as possible. That means planning shots that need to be done in a certain room happen back to back. That way you don't have to move your lighting around and waste time unnecessarily, or to adjust to best serve your talent, and so on. I bring this up because in the first scene that we shot on the first day, Todd's character already has blood on his shirt, but in the beginning, he does not. So I made sure to buy several pairs of the same shirts and pants that he'll be wearing, which is just a good practice to do anyway. You never know what's gonna happen. Murphy is a bastard and he has that law. But now we can dirty up his shirt and still have the other clean ones to fall back on. And another consideration to keep in mind when you start shooting is continuity. Continuity is a very hard thing to keep up with, especially when you're working with blood, and we're working with a lot of it. So once my makeup artist finishes blooding up Todd's shirt and hands, she took continuity photos to make sure that she keeps this look throughout the film. I also have Brad, my film school roomie, now producer, keeping continuity notes as we go along as well. That way, if there are any big changes, we can hopefully catch them on set and not in editing. And then be like, but now that we have everything set up, everyone knows what they're doing, and our actor said it was time to run rehearsals. I opted not to rehearse before shooting. Instead, I decided to only run lines before we shot the scene, then jump right in.
I'm gonna screw it up, I always do.
That's when you say, it goes silent and then Ray.
Oh, right.
What am I supposed to say?
But I know we won't get caught if we do it together. If I do it on my own, please. Ray!
What am I supposed to say?
I messed up. I should have called you. I'm sorry.
I also didn't let the actors meet each other before the day of the shoot. My main thinking for this was to keep it as fresh and unrehearsed as possible, and not let the actors get comfortable with each other. I wanted to create this heavy tension between Todd and all the other characters, and I hoped that keeping them from knowing the other's real personality outside of the character may help push it that much further. Whether it worked out or not, we'll see, but after I ran some lines with Todd, it was time to kick off our first few shots.
And action. Roundabout way to...
I was drunk. I was just messing with you.
You're drying your ears, Wade.
I couldn't take it. I snapped.
Stop where you're supposed to stop, and then just take a second when you're supposed to be cut off.
At first, things were not flowing at all. Some of the shots I planned were not working with the same emotion that the scene was supposed to have, so I quickly had to change up the shooting schedule and went a totally different route, and I'm very glad I did. After we looked at the raw footage, it was obvious that the new coverage is going to work out much better than what I originally planned. So be open to change while you're shooting. What you plan ahead of time may seem great in your head, but once you get on set, it might not work so well. So trust your instincts and adjust if you need to. That was our first sort of joke for this episode. Wow, we're so serious today. Sponsor. For those of you out there that don't already know KEF, they have been designing and engineering high-end, innovative loudspeakers in the UK since 1961, and they've now pushed the envelope even further by making a truly thin loudspeaker. We're talking only 1.4 inches thin. The new T-Series from KEF looks incredible and sounds even better. When I got mine, I was a bit skeptical at first, but once I swapped my old surround sound speakers for these, I couldn't believe how much difference it made. Even using the same preamp, these speakers sound infinitely better than my other ones, which were not cheap. And here's a nice helping of some awesome sauce. KEF is actually going to be giving away a set of speakers every month for the rest of the summer. All you have to do is follow them on Twitter and you are entered to win. It's seriously that easy. So follow them now at KEF_direct and automatically be entered to win a T-Series full 5.1 home theater system. They are drawing the first winner on May 31st, and the speakers have a retail cost of about $1,500. So if you're on Twitter, you probably want to go ahead and just start following them right now, so you can get all that surrounding your brainy sound goodness. Again, that's twitter.com/KEF_direct.
Logo.
Remember this?
And one more thing, boys. Please!
Well, a few of you have requested to see how we did it, so totaliness, yeah.
How'd you do it, Ryan? How'd you do it?
This uses a lot of different things that we've showed how to do in the past, so I'm gonna make this quick, kind of like a quick tip, but not, because we already showed that how'd you do it, Ryan thing, so it's that. But yeah. This was 3 shots in one. One of a clean plate, then one of Stark on green, playing out the scene, and then one of Josh acting out his part. Now we bring the footage in After Effects, put the clean plate on the bottom, then the one of Stark, then the one of Josh on top. Next was just to line up the 2 clips of my actors so the timing is right and add a lens flare to hide the transition in between the 2 clips. So this is nothing more than just a fade. The reason the separation works so well is because I made it happen with both of the actors in motion, which does a great job in hiding the change. Finally, we had to turn Stark into a ghost. Since he was already on green screen, all we had to do was add hue and saturation to his layer, then hit it to colorize, pushed it to blue, added a glow, then a bit of a blur, and then finally just dropped the transparency of the clip until we were like, hey, that looks good. Now, if you're like, that's way too easy, good. It's because it is. Good effects don't always have to be super hard to get done. Most effects can be accomplished in a really easy way if you just put some thought into it. We're just kicking that horse, huh?
Yep.
Whatever. We're not above it. Here's an annoying fact. Men are less likely to buckle up than women. Nearly 75% of male passengers 18 through 34 killed in passenger vehicles were not wearing their seatbelts, which is really annoying. I mean, how hard is this? I mean, if you're so lazy not to do one simple motion, I don't know, tweet me your address and I'll come slap you in the face. Here are some more numbers for you. 2/3 of people who die in accidents at night are not buckled up. You may be a safe driver, but you don't know who's out there, so just buckle the freak up. Plus, anyone can make a mistake at the wheel, like Josh's choice in shirt today.
Fight me.
Seriously, I wish you guys could see it, it's bad. Anyway, here's the clincher. The police will be out in full force leading to Memorial Day weekend. Hundreds of state and local law enforcement and highway safety officials across the nation will be participating in Click It or Ticket 2011. From May 16th to 30th, they will be looking for you day and night, making sure that everyone is buckled up. So do yourself a favor, save your own life, and a few dollars while you're at it. Just freaking click it or ticket, you idiots. Don't be an idiot. If you click it, no ticket, not an idiot. Don't click it, get a ticket, you're an idiot. So that's it for today. Next week, we're gonna be talking about how to direct actors. I'm gonna give you my method, and we're gonna be talking to Todd so we can hear from an actor's point of view. Plus, we'll find out what he thought about the whole no rehearsal thing. Just rehearsing right before the shot and going into it. Did he like it? Did he hate it? We'll find out. But as always, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Ryan_Conley. And don't forget to check out our new shows, Film State and Watch Talk, over at youtube.com/FilmState. And I'll see you guys next week when I set off to save the woman I love from a ship of dudes that took her over a gold coin. She wears around her neck. Ow, I hit the softbox.
Idiot.
You are.
What was the question? Oh, I'm very, very excited to be here. I think it's a terrific script. Ryan's written a terrific script. The whole setup is extremely professional, and I couldn't be more excited. I like long walks on the beach. No cursing.